Hello everybody, this is Jasmina, and in this video I'm going to talk about a new set of Heaven Virtue instructions if you are interested in doing this yourself. And they are different than the original video that I had up. That one I've already deleted. And this is due to the fact that that first set of instructions that I found and I used seems to have been deleted. Now that was an English language source. But then I found other instructions for the Heaven Virtue that are consistent over many Chinese language websites, so I am using that instead. Now, the other dates that I had before were dates where there were good day properties, at least a few good day properties, and so they weren't terrible days to use anyway. They just didn't really have the right energy to them. Now, the Heaven Virtue Date selection formation allows us to overcome past negative things in our lives, and that can be almost anything. If you grew up in a poor family and you really felt it and you felt ashamed or embarrassed or whatever, you just didn't like being poor, that can really affect your life. Abuse can affect your life. You know, there's a lot of negative things that can affect your life, and this formation can help you get past it. And it works on financial, emotional, even relationship problems. And the relationship problems often come from not having a good relationships with people when you were a kid because of abuse or something like this. Now, this does require both manifestation and activation for it to work. And manifesting on the given date is a requirement to fully activate the formation. Now, some dates don't have good day properties and therefore are not suitable to perform an activation on that date. But the planning of the activation can occur because that is usually just thinking. As long as you're not like rearranging the furniture in the room for the activation, it's fine. You know, you can plan what to do, and that's basically equivalent to manifesting. It is a bit of an activation in some sense, but it's not an activation that's going to cause problems. Activations that cause problems are real actions, you know, physical actions usually. Manifestation is always safe, and this is why you use these dates regardless. Activation sometimes has to wait even a couple weeks before a day with really good day properties comes along, and that's when you do the activation. Now, the best activation is solving problems by activity, and that usually requires at least talking or interacting with other people in this type of a problem. Now, sometimes it's learning something new. This one, maybe it can work this way, or at least you can learn something new about the situation you were in terms of how have other people dealt with this and overcome it. So that's learning something new. And sometimes it's contacting a professional if after you've tried things and you're not getting anywhere, then it's time to contact a professional person that can help you with whichever one of these problems that you have. So here are the rules, and it's based on the Chinese solar months. So we're talking about tiger, rabbit, you know, this one starts in February and goes into March and so forth. And the Heaven Virtue Day is any day that has a yin fire stem. And we don't care what animal sign is there. We're just looking for the stem. For the rabbit, you're looking for the monkey, and so forth. So you just look at the given month and you find what it says. We are working with the dog month. This video came out when it's applied for the dog month. And we're just looking for the yang fire days. Simple as that. And this is where this information comes from, if you're interested. Now, you should always avoid activation on a clash day. I think everybody knows that by now, but I don't want to omit that. It's your year, and and if you're working or looking for work, it's also your month. Those are the two clashes that are the most important. Now, in this case, you might also worry about, okay, if it is emotional, then maybe you also look at the hour. And if you can avoid a day that clashes with all four of your stems, that is usually the best day to use. But if it is dealing with financial problems, you really only have to worry about the month and the year. And unless it's really specifically about investments, and then you worry about the year and the hour. But if it's money in general, it's usually the month. Now, after manifestation, action should be taken that day if most of the day properties are positive. But there's one thing that has to be certain, is that the Dong Gong day property must be either positive or at least neutral. It just can't be negative. If it's negative, don't start anything new. So you do have to know the Dong Gong things, or pay someone to give you a chart for this. I mean, I've shown you how to do it. It's quite complicated, though. It's pretty hard to code, but it can be done. And this is a time to look for assistance for a problem you have. This could be from a self-help book if you haven't started doing that. It could be from a professional who has dealt with this kind of problem in the past and has helped people overcome these kind of issues. It can be almost anything that is something new you haven't done in the past. That is a true activation, where you're trying to solve the problem in a new manner. And sometimes learning something new can be a solution, but it has to be something you haven't tried before. I mean, if you've learned it before and it hasn't helped, it probably won't help again. And even if you try a different book, it probably won't help. If the first book didn't help at all, a new book probably won't. But finding a good, trustworthy financial advisor can be a good use of this day if your problems are financial. If they're other things, then a trustworthy counselor can also help. But when you choose to play a place where you're going to do the activation, the sector of the resident should be clear of annual afflictions, unmitigated Shaqi, unmitigated untimely stars, all that kind of thing. And the activation here, if you're going to have to go outside the house to do something, like to meet with a counselor or something, then you make the phone call in that sector. That's an activation, and that's basically all you can do. Now, if you're going to be doing this over the internet, instead of in person, you can be in that sector when you're getting counseling. And that could be true with a financial advisor too. They can do things over the internet too. So this is what I mean by activation, is actually working on the problem in that sector. And if it has to be done outside, then calling is an activation, because this is where you set up the appointment. Now, you can still manifest there if you want to, even on that day when you're going to call. If it wasn't the Heaven Virtue day, but it was a good day, you can also manifest again. It doesn't hurt. And you can manifest in this sector in general, because this would be one of your best sectors of your house. And this is by definition, that you don't have any problem stars or any Shaqi or any annual afflictions. This is how you know what your best sector is. So if you have any questions, you can either email me here or leave a comment. And if you need your Qi Men and Purple White charts, They are for sale at this store, and you know, you just basically have to know some very basic things about your house, and you can get them. Your Flying Star chart you can get anywhere for free. I mean, just Google Flying Star chart, you'll find it. Now, if you want to have this date selection and all the other date selection stuff that I've done, that tells you the dates and tells you the quality of the day, so you know whether or not you can activate it. For each month, you can join my channel. Now, joining my channel is not subscribing. Joining is different. There's a different button that says join, and there is a monthly fee, and I think it is $2.99 a month. And you don't have to. If you don't need this, if you don't need date selection, you don't join, of course. This is only if you're really interested in it. And we'll see if, but I do encourage you to try to do this yourself and see how it is. But you have to also know the quality of the day. And that is quite a bit of work. But I do encourage you guys to try. You will see how much work I have to put into it. Thanks again for watching.